Hey guys, how you doing? Ron here with Tech Tips to Go. In today's video, we're going to go over some more VeChain and reading in between the lines. So first off, I want to give a shout out to VeChain Alex Lynch. Go follow him on Twitter. He kind of tipped me off with this one, and there was another user on my subscriber channel who tipped me off about this one, but I can't find that comment that he made. But anyways, let's get into the video. So we're going to kind of go reading in between the lines. This is not direct news on VeChain, but I think this is going to help with global adoption. And when Sunny talked about NDAs and non-disclosure agreements, etc., and basically him not being able to kind of like tweet and share the news like every second that like you guys want. Like a lot of people expect news every minute, every hour, etc. But when VeChain being in business and they have other companies like PwC, Deloitte, D&V, they can't really speak on their behalf. They kind of just have to let them work and kind of when news comes out, let it come out. And to be honest, they don't really need that news to come out because they're already a huge established company. They're already like $42 billion companies or multi-billion-dollar companies. So yeah, I do see it in like a retail investor's kind of mind is like you really want to see more of that news. But in Sunny's argument, like we'll let, based on the NDAs, because we have so many non-disclosure agreements, we'll let our partners do that. And he even mentions it here. So this was the article from Crypto.com. When Crypto.com about 2 weeks ago, they had an AMA with Sunny Liu, and that was for them to promote Crypto.com and staking VeChain and VET tokens on Cryptos.com's exchange. So in the Ask Me Anything, Sunny even mentions here, he says, but the good things is finally we made some breakthrough to apply that to a project coming soon. Meanwhile, I need to fully respect the NDA from our business partners, right? But I could say it's something about clinical trial meds, and this is huge. So it's kind of like he's spilling the beans already on this. But if you see where Sunny is coming from, it's not like every time he gets news, I'm pretty sure he's so excited and he wants to be like, oh, guys, you know what? Like I'm pretty sure he wants to boost the stock as much as he can, just as we want it. But he has to respect his business partners like PwC, Deloitte, exactly, because he has all these NDAs, and especially with healthcare, it's not like you could blast all that information and news out there, especially if you're not speaking on the behalf of your own company. Let D&V talk about it, let PwC, let them make those breakthrough newses, right? So that's part of it, and I want to show you this from what Alex sent me. So we're going to take a look at my LinkedIn account. So with LinkedIn, right, if you do a lot of business to business transactions and you create your network and you talk to a lot of people, typically you have over like 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 connections. So it's nearly like impossible to keep up with everyone's feed, what they're sharing, what they're messaging you. I get messages all the time, like whether it's a sales message, a partner message, a meeting request, etc. So you look at someone like Kevin Fang's, like plus 500 connections. Like, I've got plus, this 500 plus is probably more like 4,000. If you look at followers, I think he's got like, look, activity, 4394 followers. So even like, look at my messaging. Here's an interesting one. Here's Jason Rockwood. We're going to connect soon. I got like, look at this, like my messages just keep going crazy. And, if I go to like my notifications here, like you look at the notifications and it's just insane. Like I don't even have the time to go through my LinkedIn messages. I have my staff. We set up a NordVPN. They connect to my LinkedIn account and they manage all of my messages and important leads. Right, because that's what we do. But anyways, so imagine getting a news notification, and this is kind of reading in between the lines, because if you look at this of what, Kevin is the COO at VeChain, right? So he shared a message over here, a blockchain toolkit for supply chain. So he shares this. So what I'm saying is, for you to go through your feed and see what everyone else is sharing, you don't have the time. You don't even have the eyes or like the capability to kind of look at these posts that people are sharing, unless someone probably contacted you and say, hey, or message you specifically like, look, we're coming out with this news, watch out for it, right? So if you look at this, Antonio Senator, he's the director at Deloitte for Blockchain Lab and Global Blockchain CTO. So he's the chief technology officer. He puts out this article from Deloitte, and it basically says learn how to build and scale. So to make a point on that, it's like you look at this article and to go through your feed and to actually see all the stuff. Anyways, so Antonio Senator, he sends something out 6 days ago, and Kevin Feng, the CEO, shares it. And like I said, like to go through your feed, it's almost impossible to see how many people shared specific notes and whatever. So it must have been like a direct message contact saying from Antonio to Kevin, say, hey, we just published our article. What do you think? And as soon as it gets out, 5 days, he shares the article. And I'm going to show you another thing here. So we all know who Sarah Naba is. Sarah Naba is the business development director she's the VP for Southeast Asia and Australia. Now, if you go to this LinkedIn profile, which is Christopher Napoli, he's the director and architect for blockchain at Deloitte. So over here, Deloitte Australia. Now, he came out with an article over here, which is about 7 days ago, which is exactly a week. Yesterday, it was 7. So it's a week ago. Here's another thing. Like everyone, if you look at Christopher's list of connections, it's 500. Probably over like 5,000 followers. Anyways, a week ago, he shares this article about, it was the same article for Deloitte pushing blockchain toolkits white label program. Well, and if you look at the reactions, and who is it? Sarah Naba, right? So you look at it, and it was Sarah Naba who actually shared and reacted to this, which is, it's interesting, right? Because, like I said, you don't watch everyone's feed on LinkedIn. Maybe Christopher probably shouted out and kind of messaged Sarah and just said, hey, it just came out. So that's, kind of reading in between the lines. This is great news, and it's reading in between the lines because, like I mentioned, VeChain, they don't have a strong sales team. What they do is they like to use their little armies to kind of build and help grow, let their partners establish more of the blockchain authority for VeChain, whether it's white labeling or just using VeChain's ecosystem in general, non-white label. But if you look at this, Deloitte, like I said, PwC, DNVGL, Deloitte, those are the big players in consulting. And this is helping with driving mass adoption. So if you're a retail investor and you've invested a lot with VeChain, this is good news because this is going to help with more mass adoption, because Deloitte probably has hundreds of thousands of customers they can just kind of work with to help mature the status of VeChain's blockchain, right? The VeThor. And if you look at this, so we all know the brand and the name for VeChain is the Toolchain kit. So this is VeChain's brand, which is Toolchain kit. That's what they name it, right? So you look at this, VeChain promotes their easy to use blockchain Toolchain kit. That's what they're promoting. Now, when you white label something, you're not going to call it Toolchain. You're going to call it something your own. So when you look at this article, and I'm going to get a little bit deeper into this. So Deloitte, and this came out 6 days ago. So what are we here? 6 days ago. It was edited 6 days ago. So pretty recent news. And when you look at this, they didn't call it Toolchain. They call it Toolkit. Very, very same. So is this not VeChain's? Is it IBM's? Is it a white label version of Toolchain? My gut feeling is yes. So Let's explore the toolkit. All right. So redesigning trust blockchain deployment toolkit. And if you click on let's get started, you can go to toolkit content. Now, and this is where it's huge, guys. Blockchain, toolkit, toolchain, the future of toolchain, the future of blockchain enterprise solutions is huge. Because like I mentioned in my other videos, we're in the such early days of the internet. And if you pick the right investment or stock, we could be rewarded later. I'm not saying, this is not financial advice, but if we do our due diligence and we pick that right ICO or coin or altcoin, you get rewarded pretty well. And who knows, like maybe VeChain's not the one. Maybe, ADA or Cardano might be a higher coin in the market, but the way I look at it and where VeChain's partnerships and the status and the news and who's adopting it, and especially with these strong partners like with PwC and Deloitte, I have very strong confidence of where this coin is going. Because, and if you look at this, VeChain is, Deloitte and VeChain are working together. VeChain necessarily doesn't have to, create a huge sales team. They'll let all PwC and Deloitte explore the market, reach out to the current partners and niche vertical markets that they're in and sell it to them, right? Because they have such a global, huge presence that they can touch base and build recurring revenue. So BRR in corporate is huge, right? Because you want to touch base with all your customers that you have and keep building. Like in the nature of corporate, working in corporate environments, your sales directors, your VPs are going to be like, okay, well, we're having a slow month. How do we build more BRR? Like build recurring revenue. Go back to your customers, touch base on them. We've got this new product called the Toolkit. And they're going to be like, what's Toolkit? That's blockchain enterprise solutions. How does it work? How is it going to return and give us an ROI? Now, if you look at this, the thing that makes me even more bullish, and I keep saying that I get more bullish every time you see a video from me. But when you look at Deloitte's reach, look at all of the vertical markets and niches and industries that they can touch. Introduction, ecosystem. Like if you look at digital identity, data protection, personal data handling, public-private interoperability, cybersecurity, tax implications, financial reporting, risk. So, we'll get into this here. And this is even better. So the list of contributors on this. The lead authors. Now, I'm going to leave a link to this and you could scroll through the whole thing, but I'm going to tell you one thing here. The list of contributors here, you have huge companies that sit on this. I think there's all of these people are directors. They work at Deloitte. They're founders of truckle other supply chain companies. Co-founder. But when you scroll down through all these pilot partners and list of directors, etc., they're all trying to construct one thing: is how to get more global mass adoption with blockchain technology solutions. So they're getting contributors, partners to be in here. You look at this, like some of the people that are on here, like World Bank Group, Nike, and you keep going down the list. Graphic designer from World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Look at how many people are on this list that Deloitte has been working with. All over global, Portugal, Hong Kong, Switzerland, Denmark, right? All of these people in Deloitte, outside companies like Nike, banks, Commission on International Trade Law. This is huge, right? Ireland. And the great thing I look at this, there's no competitors or developers or core developers that are listed as, that would kind of give you a hint to, oh, well, maybe that's VeChain's competitor. There's no IBM listed here. Well, I'll do a control find and I'll go to IBM. There's no IBM. So people think, well, is this Hyperledger or IBM's tool? No. And that's why I have a strong feeling, my gut feeling, this is the white label portion of VeChain. And I think Deloitte is just going to be going strong on this, which is great. And that, like I said, that makes me even more bullish when I look at this. And you look at all of the people that are being involved, like senior research scientists, Hitachi America, and also here another big group, Baker McKenzie. So you can see like that the way the market and this $1 trillion market, how fast it's growing and it's expanding. And that's why, like pat on the back to myself, pat on the back to you guys, to the VeChain family who keeps strong and keeps believing and doesn't sell out. Like pat on the back to you guys. Like you look at this, it says acknowledgement. Additional thanks goes to Christoph Wolf, Margie, blah, 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 etc. for your input in workshops, interviews, user feedback, scoping exercise, surveys, and more to shape the outcome of this toolkit, right? So they are spending time and resources to get all of these people involved. Let's say they just spent 1 hour on a 1 hour call on these. Let's say their hourly rate is 125 as consultants or 175. Going rate is probably like 275. But all of these people that are involved to start building and adopting blockchain enterprise solutions in all of these vertical markets and niches and industries like finance, accounting, supply chain, etc. is massive. So if you look at this payroll, just to build and start to gather things is massive. Anyways, I'm going to leave the link. We can get into more of this, but like it goes into like endnotes, the summary, the modules. The modules is actually pretty cool here. So it tells you like the focus. So if you look at this, when we go into the summary, it talks about the preface of it. This toolkit combines best practices from dozens of experts across relevant domains. It's massive. The foundations, how to think about blockchain deployments. So they're involving all of these companies, and on that list of contributors, guys, there's Nike on there, right? This is huge. Like once blockchain fully establishes, I really hope that Deloitte, gets huge partnerships with blockchain technology enterprises, white labeling Toolchain, VeChain's ecosystem. And, this might be speculative. It could be IBM's, but, I'm not going to say it's 100% VeChain's, because when you work with large organizations like this, like I've worked with PwC, they don't only use so when we sell a warehouse management system or WMS or ERP, they don't only use one specific brand. They will use like Manhattan, they will use SAP, because when they're dealing with that particular client or a client, sometimes they have preferences and they already invested a lot into like an ERP system like SAP, but they just need help on the accounting side or a certain module of that. So they'll expand on that, but provide professional services. But going forward, if they're going to white label and completely like pitch a solution that'll fit with the VeChain ecosystem, they will sell that. So anyways, I'm going to keep blabbing on, but guys, I hope you liked the video. Subscribe, comment, like, and you know what? Let's grow this community strong, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.